let us begin here on this recovery trip of trying to get the people's houses returned from the criminal enterprise known as the HalleluYAH Scriptures. Let's take a look at this real quick, and I want to just make sure that we have this noted. This is the Business Entry Information Record Service, New Jersey. Business Gateway, HalleluYAH Scriptures, nonprofit. We have Adele Horvath as an agent. Their identity theft on this one and identity fraud. I wanted to also put that the president, Robert Liu, even though he may not be the trigger man on this, unfortunately he is the president and is allowing this to happen under his hands. So he needs to be very, very careful what he's doing with this woman, because she's extorting an enormous amount of people, and she's paying off a lot of people as well. Now this is where we need to go right here. This is Hands That Help in the Orphan Feeding Program, and this is Great Books. Now, Great Books is what they call a DBA, which is a doing business as, and it takes us to where we need to go to our next little part here, which is right here. This was on 8/29/2022 that the HalleluYAH Scriptures, one of their accounts, had a balance of $403,805.31 in it. Now, this is very important because on this date right here, September 14th, 2022, HalleluYAH Scriptures began to extort money again from people when they did this transfer drive, begging for help. And I went over other videos in this, and you guys can refer to those if you don't know which one I am talking about. Now, I wanted to put this into detail because we have September 14th when they are extorting people's cash. But now, because we know their name is Great Books, we were now able to go and get the deed to the property that they just barely bought. And let's take a quick look at first on the day that they bought this, Great Books, on September 9th, 2022. Now, this is the signature for Mr. Jameson Burrell. And I believe he was another pawn that was being used by Deborah Weiss. And so she had and has all these people that are never her signing on. Now let's take a look at this and let's read what this says exactly. This says tax proration agreement. We, the undersigned, hereinafter refer to as buyers and sellers, whether one or more, of the property known as or located at 302 Columbia Road, 220, Emerson, Arkansas, 71740. Now, Deborah Wessel, or Weiss, is not extremely smart. She sent out pictures in another newsletter that I was able to link up and figure this whole thing out. Everything that I'm figuring out is by the hand of Deborah Weiss, or Wessel, and her inability to run efficient criminal operations. She's just doing a lot of mistakes. Let's take a look at this. Who is this? They do hereby agree to the tax proration used at closing, which is based upon the prior tax year, assessed valuation and tax rate, as this is the latest information available. Buyers and sellers hereby acknowledge that they have been informed of the adjustments. The taxes have been prorated up and through the date of settlement, closing date, accrediting the buyers and debiting the sellers. Further, the buyers hereby acknowledge that they will be responsible for the entire tax bill for the calendar year, current tax year when it becomes due and payable, and all years thereafter. Buyer and seller agrees to hold National Title and Escrow, LLC, its agents and employees harmless for any adjustments or non-payments of taxes. So Frances Suzanne White on September 9th executed that side. This side was signed by Jameson Burrell, who was acting in the paperwork of HalleluYAH Scriptures. We have that. Now let's take a look at what exactly did they buy. They bought this. Here's the file number. It was prepared 9/6/2022. So they were planning this scam and all of this before they shook everybody down, right? This is already prepared. They had already done this. So 9/9/2022 is when they sent them the money. Look at this. Look at the sixes here. You know, this is incredible. There's 666 everywhere in this thing. That's it for another time. This is the location. This is where they their bank, I guess, Little Rock, Arkansas. Property address 302 Columbia Road 220 Emerson, Arkansas 71740. Buyer. Great Books 661A Cranberry Cross Road, North Brunswick, New Jersey 08902. Francis Suzanne White is the seller. This address is linked all over their paperwork to absolutely everything. It's a public address. They're a public company. This is why they can't hide this stuff. Titled by National Title and Escrow, LLC, 17709 Cantrell Road, Little Rock, Arkansas, 72223. There's their phone number. Escrow officer, Mr. Justin Vent, did this. How much do the Hallelujah Scriptures rip the people of our Creator for? Okay, the sales price of the property. So they stole $231,000 that they drained off that $400,000 that you guys saw earlier. So they had plenty of money to purchase this house and move all their stuff and beyond all of this with no problems whatsoever. But yet they went and did another ruse, another hustle, another scam. So here's the prorations. So they ended up paying $574.56 for the taxes. Government recording and transfer charges, $30. Revenue tax stamp tax is this. So their total that they paid was $232,373.15. And instead of letting everybody know that they just bought a brand new building that they could house their Bibles in, they shook everybody down and they stole a whole bunch more money. Let's continue on. This is the domestic wire transfer for them. This is the absolute proof. Initiator, Stephanie M. Martinez. Approver's name, Emma M. Capitaletti. Wire amount was $235,000 on the dot. There it is. There's your 13 pieces of silver right there, folks. That is the smoking gun. And let's continue on. Customer's bank code. For anybody who thinks I'm breaking privacy stuff, I took out everybody's account numbers, so nobody needs to worry. Okay, so it went from that customer name, HalleluYAH Scriptures, and it went to these. There's their account number. It went to National Title and Escrow. There's their account number, 17709 Cantrell Road, Arkansas, Southern Bank. Okay, so this is that, and they have, these are the wire instructions. Okay, now this is more stuff on here. I don't know what this is exactly. But the city of Vineland, 640 East Wood Street, tax collector. Don't know what that's about. This is the wire instructions that we just saw. So that's what they just executed a little bit before that. A couple of these are out of order now because this is about the end of my paper trail on this particular subject. This is their FedEx. I don't know where they sent this to exactly, but this is all part of their stuff. So there's there's their stuff. I don't know where it was going. Who did we send it to? Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, nothing there. Okay, so this is actually a little bit out of order. So this is over here. So this one, we have this forwarding address. I don't know what all this stuff is. This is for rich people to buy houses. This is out of order, but then this one goes right here. This is a little agreement and stuff that they are, I guess when they're buying this stuff or something. And 11 and 12, property that steward, blah, 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 or without knowledge. So there's no existence of manufactured homes or anything. It's just like the legal stuff they have to go through, I guess. So anyway, it was signed on the September 7th, or I think that's the date, 2022. Jameson Burrell, Vice President. He was Vice President of HalleluYAH Scriptures at the time. Company, Great Books, Great Crimes as well. Great Books and Great Crimes. So that is all evil stuff they have. And so this was done by state. This is Virginia. County of Frederick, and this is about the end of this. So Notary public. They notarized this. This theft was notarized before our Creator himself, so that this could be exposed at a later date. And this is the final thing that they agreed to. And Mr. Jameson Burrell, Vice President, signed this. And again, I think he was just acting as these guys just get trapped. They completely get trapped. They get owned by Deborah Wessel. They think they're doing the work of our Creator, but they don't realize that she is extorting people for orphans, widows, and lepers, and along with Bibles, this woman has a Princess Di stuff. I mean, this lady has enough scams. It's just an enormous amount of scams. So as I wrap this particular video section up in this segment, they did buy a house. They did spend enormous amount of money. They did steal this amount of money from the people of our Creator. And then to top it off, to make everything so much worse, at the same time, remember, because they had this money, and when they bought this house, all they did was drop this down $235,000. They would have had a ton of money left. They could have moved all of their stuff, but instead of this, they decide that they don't want to beg. Or actually they do. This is what they say. If we have to beg you to help, we will beg you on behalf of the Father and on our knees. We are very tired from the attacks, and most of the team are working up to 18 hours to get this done. The Father is calling his people to help and see who will fight for his word. You know, this is extremely sick. This entire thing is extremely sick. And the amount of donations that come in from the Hands That Help and the Hands That Help You and all the other little orphanage names. And I figured out, I have a lead on where they're coming from. We'll expose this here in just a little bit as well. And so there's other websites. They don't just run this amazing grift from HalleluYAH Scriptures. They've used HalleluYAH Scriptures to double down and double down and double down until they have just an enormous amount of amazing stuff going on. So this is it. I will wrap it up with this. These people had tons of money that were stolen from the people, right? This poor little company that's just so broke. They had nearly $500,000 sitting there, but it wasn't enough. And instead of praising our Creator for delivering them a building that they stole, which they just continued on stealing more money. And that's where greed ended up taking these people. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.